Hey guys, it's Amy Dove, the Keto Queen. We're home in the kitchen. It's Sunday and we are fixing to make us a wonderful keto meal for the week. I'll be eating this for dinner. Ricky made the family some pasta tonight, so they're going to be enjoying a non-keto friendly dinner. And I'm making a keto taco soup. So Ricky always gets frustrated when I call this taco soup because he thinks taco soup has to have beans and corn in it. This is totally keto, low carb version, and I want to show you how simple it is. So if you're jumping on, let me know what your plans are for dinner tonight that's low carb or keto friendly. We had such a great time in New York, and we are going to be enjoying some time with family today. So Ricky and I are both cooking, and we've got Haley and Dakota here. Justin and Aaron's going to be heading this way, and my mom and dad. So we're going to have a house full of guests tonight. I hope you're having a great weekend. Let me know what you're doing for dinner tonight and where you're watching from. If taco soup sounds great to you and you can eat it keto version, give me some hearts and share this video, guys. Right now, all I've done is I took 2 pounds of ground beef and I cooked that ground beef with a red bell pepper. If you like green ones, if you like orange ones, you can use whatever bell pepper you want. And I used a half of a small onion. Now, I'm going to show you while we're cooking this tonight how to understand to calculate your carbs so you can know how many carb counts you have in your dishes. So we're going to look at some of the ingredients we're using tonight, and I'm going to show you how to calculate your net carbs. So you guys might have to help me with math because you know I can't use my fingers or my calculator while I'm cooking. So I'm not a math magician, unfortunately. I wish I was smart like that. So we're going to take this ground beef. Now, I'm using 2 pounds. And 1 red bell pepper, and I used half of a small onion. Now you can use more if you want to. And we're gonna go ahead and drain this grease real quick. And then we're gonna add this back to the pot and add our next ingredients. Now I'm using a lean ground beef, so there's really not much in there. I just drained this, and I can tell you I don't hear anything falling, so we must have cooked up all the grease that was in it. It was a very lean ground beef. I actually got it local here from a farmer. So we've got our ground beef, and we've got a red bell pepper and half of a small onion. Oh, Tanya had the Dorito casserole. Yum. I love the Dorito casserole. I haven't had it in a while. I don't know what that says, Sandra. I think your fingers messed up the wording. Ooh, beef stew. That sounds great. How are you guys doing? Pizza bowl, Karen. Yum. We ate pizza while we were in New York. It was not keto, but it was delicious. Hey, Deanne, first time making the broccoli salad. Yum, that sounds really good. So tonight we are making this soup because I'm going to have this soup while the family enjoys pasta. And I'm going to have this for lunch this week at work. So I'll take this to work for myself and my mom and my aunt. And Haley, if she would like some, she's going to try it tonight. I don't know if she's ever tried this before. So we're going to have the family over and we're just going to enjoy some time together. All right, so we've got our ground beef, the onion, and the bell pepper. We're going to add our next ingredients. We have to have taco seasoning because this is a taco soup, right? So I'm going to use 3 tablespoons, and we'll taste it and see if we need more. We're going to do 3 tablespoons of the Flavor Gods Taco Tuesday. Now, you can use whatever taco seasoning you guys like. I'm using Flavor Gods because I love it, and I know there's no sugar in it. There's a lot of recipes for taco seasoning. If you'll just Google keto taco seasoning, you'll see tons of recipes. I used to make my own. And then you also can use the McCormick's packet if you would like, but there is sugar in those. The Flavor Gods Taco Tuesday, I'm going to show it to you. I do like Flavor Gods. I don't like all of them, but I do love this as one of my favorite ones. And when you look at the ingredients, it'll tell you right there in the ingredients. There's onion, garlic, sea salt, smoked paprika, cumin, black pepper, fennel seed. I'm trying to make sure I don't miss anything. Paprika flavor, I don't know what that is. Crushed chili pepper, and you see there's no sugar. There's no hidden sugar. There's no sugar. So I really like the Flavor Gods Taco Tuesday. I usually buy them when they're on sale, when they have sales, and you can get that right off their website, Flavor God. So that's what I'm using. You don't have to use this one, but I want to share what I'm using. So we just seasoned our ground beef, pepper, and onion with some taco seasoning. Now we're going to add some beef broth. I'm going to put this back on the ice so it stays warm. And we're going to simmer these next ingredients. So on the beef broth, we're going to do 24 ounces of beef broth. So let me pour that in. 24 ounces of beef broth. That's 16. Open up a second one. Now the beef broth, if you look at the ingredients, it says there, well, let me change it around. It says there is 0 net carbs. See that? Total carb 0, fiber 0, there's 0. So we can use as much of this as we want, and there's no carbs. So we don't have to add any carbs to this. And what I'm going to show you guys is how to make your casseroles, your dish, and know how many carbs are in it. So we're adding 24 ounces of beef broth. All right. We added the taco seasoning. Now we're going to add some salsa. Now I look for the lowest carb salsa. So that means I have to actually look at labels at the grocery store. It takes a little time, but once you do this a couple of times, it comes really, really easy to you. So I want to show you this. This is a low carb salsa, and you see right here, there's 2 carbs, 2 total carbs. There's no fiber, so that means there's 2 carbs. It says the serving size is 2 tablespoons. So we're going to look at this again in just a few minutes, okay? 2 tablespoons, 2 net carbs. It is an organic mild salsa, and we're going to use half a cup. If I can open it. Half a cup of this salsa. My half cup here. Half cup. Ooh, yes. Half a cup of salsa. And we'll see what else we got. Ooh, tomatoes. So this is where we're adding some carbs now, because this is a canned tomato. There are carbs. We're going to look at that in just a few minutes. Let me go ahead and get it together so it can start simmering. And I will go over this recipe again with you in just a second. We want to go ahead and get this simmering so we can add our next ingredients. And what I like to do is mix this together, keep it on low heat, just let it simmer for an hour or so. You don't have to. Literally, you can just mix it all together and let it cook and eat it right away. But I like to have mine simmered a little bit. So we're going to use this full can. This is 28 ounces. You can do less if you want. If you do less, you're making less soup, less carbs. And I'm just using diced tomatoes, so a whole can of diced tomatoes. We're going to look at this carb count in just a second. And that's it. So right now, oh, we forgot the garlic. Oh, let me get the garlic. Hang on. You can use garlic powder if you like. I'm going to use some frozen garlic. We're going to mix it right in here. And I personally am going to do, it's mine, right? I'm going to do quite a bit of garlic. You can just do garlic powder if you want to. I'm going to take these frozen garlic cloves. And I normally buy these ready to go, fresh peeled garlic that you can buy in the produce section at Walmart. I'm sure they have it everywhere. My mother-in-law is the one that actually taught me to put it in the freezer. She said if you put it in the freezer, it stays fresher longer because you can just pull them out and use them when you need them. And I love that idea because we use garlic pretty much every single week. I love garlic as a flavoring. So I'm just mincing this garlic up and trying to press this frozen garlic. It's not as easy to press when it's frozen. Should have set it out for a second. And while this is simmering, we're going to look at these ingredients so we can add up the carb counts for our dinner. I'll do 2 more. You could always use fresh garlic and garlic powder as well. Go ahead and do 2 little small more. 2 more little small ones. You can never do too much garlic as far as I'm concerned. I'm going to look real quick. Did you use any meat? Yes, there is 2 pounds of ground beef, lean ground beef, and then there's 1 red bell pepper, 1/2 of a small onion. I just did a half. And then we added those ingredients. I'm going to go back over this in just a few minutes. Let me put this back in the freezer so it doesn't fall. Okay, let me go over so far what we're doing. We're going to let this simmer. I'm going to stir it all together and let this simmer for a few minutes. We have cooked 2 pounds of ground beef. And with the ground beef, we chopped up and cooked with it 1 red bell pepper. You can use whatever bell pepper you like. And 1/2 of a small onion. You can use a whole small onion if you would like to. We let that cook. And then we drained the grease. There wasn't a whole lot in mine. We drained the grease, put it back in the skillet, and then we added taco seasoning. Now, I will taste this later to see if I needed more, but I did 3 tablespoons of taco seasoning. You can use whatever seasoning you want. This is a taco soup. And then we added some garlic, 24 ounces of beef broth, half a cup of low-carb salsa, a whole 28-ounce can of crushed tomatoes or diced tomatoes, and that's it so far. So we're going to let this simmer for a few minutes. And while we're doing that, let's look at these ingredients, okay? We want to show you how to cook a meal and you know how many carbs are in there. Because so many times people say, well, how many carbs is on that plate? Well, I can tell you how many carbs are in mine, but depending on your ingredients, you could be cooking a whole lot more carbs. And I don't ever want you to I want you to understand how many carbs are on your plate with your ingredients. So I like to honestly recommend simple clean keto. So having a protein, a low carb veggie cooked in healthy fats, and that's what I do most every single day. You'll see that this week as we prep and try some Thanksgiving lunch or Thanksgiving side dishes. But tonight we're making soup so I can eat it tonight and then take it to work this week. So let's look at the tomatoes. This has got the most carbs in the whole thing. When we look at this 28-ounce tomatoes, and I'm just going to show you this is a, who is that? I don't even know how to say that. I don't even know. I've never tried to pronounce that before. But this is the brand tomatoes. I really didn't shop for the least carbs. I probably should have. I didn't this time. I just picked it up because it was on sale. So you'll see this can says a serving size is half a cup. We used this entire can, right? So it says there's 6 servings in this entire can. If you look at the total carbs, there's 6. And there's 1 fiber, so we're going to net the carbs to 5 net carbs. We subtract fiber from carbs. So we've got 5 net carbs in a serving, okay? So how many servings are in this can? 6. So what's 5 times 6, guys? That's 30. So we have 30 carbs. Now somebody's going to look at this and be like, oh my God, you just put 30 carbs in your pan? That's a lot of carbs. It is. This is the most out of the entire recipe. So what I did when I wrote down my little chicken scratch here, I wrote down the 28-ounce tomato is 30 carbs. So we have 30 net carbs in that one ingredient. Garlic has 0. Ground beef has 0. A small onion has 6. A small yellow onion. I used half of the small yellow onion. So if you're going to use a whole small, it's going to be 6. So you just write down 6. The 1 red bell pepper, 6. So I wrote down 6. So I've got 6, 6, and 30 so far. So what you'll do when you're creating your meals is you'll write down the carb counts of each of your ingredients so that you can know how many carbs are in this dish. All right, so the garlic 0, 24 ounces of beef broth. We looked, there's 0 carbs in the beef broth. Let's look at the salsa. So this is a low carb salsa. Let me put the top on it so I don't spill it. The low carb salsa is really good. It makes the soup delicious. I just used a Walmart brand organic. And let me show you, when you look at the ingredients on here, or the ingredients, not the ingredients, the nutritional value, you'll see there's 2 tablespoons in a serving. See that? 2 tablespoons. So let me ask you guys, how many tablespoons are in a half a cup? Because remember, we used half a cup. And I'll tell you, I already looked it up. For a half a cup, that means there's 8 tablespoons. So 8 tablespoons is what we use, but a serving size is 2. So how many carbs are in 2 tablespoons? You'll see right there it says total carbs 2, and there's 0 fiber. So that means there are 2 carbs in 2 tablespoons. We used 8, guys. So we used 8 tablespoons. If the serving size is 2, how many tablespoons actually went into our soup? So it sounds really complicated. It's really not complicated, guys. So there's 2 carbs and 2 tablespoons. We used a total of 8 tablespoons. So that is 4 servings. So 4 times 2 is 8. So there's 8 carbs in this product that we just put into our soup. Does that make sense? I want to make sure this makes sense. So there's 8 carbs in the salsa. 8 carbs in the salsa, and that's because we used a half a cup, and the serving size is 2. So 8 divided by 2 is 4. So it's 4 servings, and then there's 2 carbs in a serving. So 4 times 2 is 8. So there's 8 carbs in that salsa. So we're writing all this down. This is all we have in here so far. I've got 6 for the onion. I actually have less than that because I used less, but a small onion is 6. A bell pepper is 6. The salsa is 8. My salsa is 8. The 28 ounces of tomatoes is 30. There was nothing in my taco seasoning, nothing in the ground beef. And right now, that's what we have in this skillet, or in this pot, in this soup pot, simmering. So the next ingredients we're fixing to add is heavy cream. Heavy cream has lots of carbs, guys. A lot of times people discount heavy cream because on your heavy cream, most of them will say -1. If it says -1, that means 1 carb. There's no such thing as -1. It's either 0 or it's 1. But they've been given permission through the FDA to use a negative sign, 1 or less than 1. Guys, that means 1. So let me show you my heavy cream. This one actually says 1. A lot of them will say less than 1, but this one says 1. So there's 1 carb, and look at that serving size. Do y'all see that serving size? It is 1. 1 tablespoon has 1 carb. Now, if you're just using this for your coffee, great. You're only going to use a couple of tablespoons to cream your coffee, right? Heavy whipping cream, you use a couple of tablespoons. But guys, we're going to use a whole cup of heavy cream. A cup of heavy cream. So how many carbs is that? How many tablespoons are in a cup? Do you guys know? I Googled it. I just Googled how many tablespoons are in a cup, and it told me 16. So there's 16 tablespoons in a cup, and I'm going to use a whole cup. How many carbs are in 1 tablespoon? 1. So 1 times 16 is 16. So we've got 16 carbs written down next to our heavy cream, and I'm going to do a whole cup of heavy cream. Ooh, we're just going to let this simmer. We're adding these next ingredients and going to let it simmer. So a whole cup of heavy cream. Oh, y'all, this is so good. I promise you, if you haven't tried this yet, you're going to love it. And the recipe is in this post. So I know I'm spending a lot of time talking about the ingredients. I don't want you to lose me here. We're going to go over those ingredients again, but it's in the post, so you don't have to write all this down. So let's stir in that heavy cream. Let me show you what the soup looks like right now. It looks really creamy, does it not? Oh, it's going to be so good. We're going to let this simmer. I've got it on medium to low heat. And we're just going to let this simmer for a little bit. Our next ingredient is cream cheese. So we're making it a creamy taco soup, and it's so yummy. Now, you can stop here. You don't have to add any cream cheese if you want to. But trust me, it's delicious. And we're only going to add in 4 ounces. So your cream cheese. I think I threw my package away. If you look at your cream cheese, let's turn this around. I threw my package away. Cream cheese. I love to show you guys how to look at your own nutritional values. It's the only way you can really learn. So in this cream cheese, you see the serving size is 1 ounce. This is a block of cream cheese, so there's 8 ounces in the whole block. So 1 ounce is how many carbs? See that? It says less than 1. No such thing. So it's either 1 or it's 0. So we're going to say there's 1 carb in every ounce. We're using 4 ounces, guys. We're going to use half this block. So if we use 1 ounce, how many carbs? 1. So we're using 4 ounces. So how many carbs? 4. So we're adding 4 to cream cheese. So see, I've got a little 4 next to my cream cheese. So this is really chicken scratch, but I want to show you what I'm doing here. It's easy. We're writing down our ingredients. I know you can't read it. And then we're putting down the carb counts for each of those ingredients. And then over here is my little chicken scratch about how many tablespoons is in a half a cup and all that good stuff. So we've got, so far, we've got the cream cheese. We've got the heavy cream. We're simmering it. At the very end, if you want to, you can add cheese. I'm not going to add any cheese right now. We're going to do our cream cheese so it can simmer. And it can melt really good. This is going to be a very good creamy taco soup, guys. It's so yummy. There's no beans. There's no rice. There's no corn. It is totally keto. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're going to cut this right in half for 4 ounces. And add this right in. I'm going to cut this into smaller pieces so it melts faster. And we're just going to let this soup simmer. So I'm fixing to go over the ingredients one last time, and we're going to add up all these. So somebody with a calculator, get your calculator out. Somebody with a calculator, we're fixing to add up the ingredients. Now, the reason I like to teach you guys this is when you looked at my low-carb salsa, you saw the serving size was 2 tablespoons, and it was 2 net carbs per 2 tablespoons. When you pick up a salsa at Walmart or Kroger or Honey Bees or wherever you shop at, you may find a salsa that is different. So you need to know how to look at your carb count so that when you're getting your meals today or your meals together, or you're calculating at the end of the day how many carbs you had, you know. If you don't know, you don't know, right? So you need to learn how to look at those packages. So somebody get your calculator out. This is really easy for me. I think I counted 70. We've got 1 small onion, 6. We've got 1 bell pepper, 6. So that's 6 and 6, right? Then we have 8 in the salsa. We have 30 in the tomatoes. We have 4 in the cream cheese we just added. We have 16 in the heavy cream, 70. So there you go. Annette just jumped on there. That's 70 carbs. So we have 70 total net carbs. So 70 net carbs in this dish. This is a big pot, guys. So now what? Now that we know we have 70 carbs in this dish, how do we know how many carbs are in our serving? Everybody will ask me, what's your serving size? Well, my serving size may be different than yours. What I plan to do is make 1 cup soups. So I'm going to have a cup of soup. A cup of soup, if you had 10 cups, how many carbs is that? So you take that 70 and divide it by how many servings you create. I'm going to pretend like there's 10 cups in here. I really don't know that yet, because usually I do less tomatoes. So it's going to be a little more than I normally have made. And it's been a while. I cooked this last year in fall season. So it's been a long time since I cooked this. So what I plan to do is cook it, let it chill. And then I'm going to make my 1 cup for dinner. And then I'm going to put cups together for to-go plates. Or I'm going to put this in a big container, but I'm going to scoop it out per cup. That way I know how many cups I'm making, okay? I feel certain I'll get 10 out of this, maybe even more. But what you're going to do is take that total number, the 70, and you're going to divide it by how many servings you have. So this potentially could be 7 carbs per cup. Now, I used less onion. I'm just giving you an example, and the recipe does call for 1 small onion. You can decrease the carb counts yourself. And then you also have to decide, are you going to add more to it? Like, are you going to shred up some cheese to put on top of yours? Are you going to add a little dollop of sour cream to put on it? Are you going to add some hot sauce? Like, are you going to add anything? Because if you add anything, you're adding carbs. I'm going to put this back in the refrigerator because I don't think I need any more cheese, but this is so yummy. If you take just a couple of ounces of shredded cheddar cheese and put inside your soup, as it finishes this cooking process and simmers, it makes a cheesy, delicious, creamy taco soup. Guys, if you've never tried it before, you're going to love this recipe. I'm fixing to run through all those ingredients one last time before I jump off here. I hope this was helpful. If it sounds delicious and it was helpful, make sure you share these videos for me. We like to share and show people how easy it is to cook low carb or keto. And guys, if I can help you with anything, make sure you reach out to me. That's what this page is for. Those of you who are still on, I've got to tell you, I just literally a few minutes ago got word that we have some more flavors available today. So we have the rainbow candy. We also have pudding pop. It's so yummy. It is the best chocolate milk I've ever had since I stopped drinking chocolate milk. It is so delicious. It's called pudding pop. You mix it with unsweet almond milk, just like an ice cold chocolate milk. It is so yummy. We also have blackberry pineapple, and we have the green apple. All of those flavors are available today. Just now, a few minutes ago, got notification of this. So I didn't know earlier. So I didn't tell you earlier because I did not know and I did not see it. But if you love that pudding pop, if you haven't tried it yet and you love a chocolate milk, you will so much enjoy it. The green apple tastes like a crisp green apple. It is so delicious. It almost tastes like a green apple Jolly Rancher. The blackberry pineapple, Haley tried it. She did not like it. I like it. A lot of my friends love it. Haley did not like it. And then, and the rainbow candy tastes so good. Haley loved it. I just ordered us another box with a pudding pop because I love the pudding pop. All right, guys, I'm going to jump off here after I read these last ingredients. Okay, so this is a creamy, cheesy taco soup. You use 2 pounds of ground beef cooked with a bell pepper. I used red, and a small yellow onion or a half an onion. That's up to you. You can use as much as you want. Your carb counts depend on your dish. After you cook that ground beef, you're going to drain the grease, and then you're going to put it back in the pot, and you're going to add garlic. I used fresh garlic. You can use garlic powder if you'd like to. You can use both. And then you're going to keep on adding. We're adding 24 ounces of beef broth, a half a cup of low-carb salsa, 28-ounce can of diced or crushed tomatoes, and your taco seasoning. Now, I used Flavor God's taco seasoning. You can use whatever you prefer. Let this all simmer. As it's simmering, you want to add in 4 ounces of cream cheese and 1 cup of heavy cream. Again, making it on a very slow simmer. And we're just going to cook this. We're going to keep on letting it simmer. I'm going to let mine simmer for a good 30 minutes. When you're ready to eat it, if you need more taco seasoning, taste it, of course, and add some taco seasoning. But when you get ready to eat it, if you want to, you can add some cheddar cheese or some pepper jack cheese to the top of your bowl, or a dollop of sour cream, some hot sauce, anything you want. This is your taco soup, but it makes the richest, creamy taco soup. It's so yummy. Let me show you what it looks like right now. And Ricky gets mad when I call this taco soup because he thinks taco soup has to have beans and corn. But guys, look how pretty that is. Is that not delicious looking? It is so yummy. And as it continues to simmer, it's going to smell up the whole house. If you want to add that cheddar cheese to the top or even in your soup bowl, you certainly can. We added up that carb count using my ingredients, guys, which I showed you how to look at your own ingredients so you'll know how many carbs are in your soup. I love soup weather. I love the fall and the winter soup weather. We love this soup. I also have another one that we'll be trying over the next few months. And it's a hamburger, a cheesy hamburger soup. It's so yummy. I haven't really found a good broccoli that I love, but we do love soups. All right, let me look real quick and see if you guys have questions for me. I'm actually going to hop over here and get away from this heat. That heat does not love my face does not love the heat. So let me get, look, Ricky cleaned off my table finally. We're having company, so he cleaned off the table. Okay, let me look and see if you guys have any questions real fast before I jump off. Again, if this video was helpful, make sure you share. And let's see. Love y'all's dinner ideas. Smoked pot roast sounds delicious too. Pork ribs with cauliflower mash and grilled zucchini. Yum, that sounds good. It's been raining here, so we couldn't really grill. With Jihu's sweet and spicy barbecue. Ooh, Melissa, I love that. It's cool in Ohio. Soup sounds wonderful. If it's dry and it's good, we've got it. My dad's parents owned a Horner Gaylord wholesale dry goods. I use bone broth in place of beef broth. You can totally do that, Melissa. I think actually that was bone broth. That actually was bone broth I used too. Bone broth and beef broth, neither one have carbs. 2 pounds of lean. Oh, and instead of the hamburger meat, if you would rather use ground turkey or ground chicken, you can do that too, and it's so good. I've done it with ground turkey before too. Kathy Odom, did you send me a message today, Kathy? If you send it through the Keto Queen page, I will be checking my messages in just a few minutes. If you're talking about in this comments, I'm reading them now. If I missed you somehow or another, please make sure you send me another message, Kathy. Did I stay on keto in New York or did I indulge a little? Honey, I indulged. We were in New York City. New York City, where they had street food and they had pizza. On the street food, I actually did have chicken on a stick. That was keto. But yes, I had pizza in New York. It was so good. I also had a dessert in New York. So yes, I did not stay 100% keto while in New York. We did walk a lot and we did drink our ketones every day. Let's see. I'm looking to see if there's any questions. Ooh, chicken soup sounds good. Ordering pudding pop. Debbie, girl, I got me one too because that pudding pop is delicious. Mary Ann loves the blackberry pineapple. Oh my goodness, I hear snoring in the kitchen. Can you add these flavors to your subscription? You cannot add these to your subscription. Unfortunately, Shelly, they're seasonal flavors. Seasonal flavors mean they make them on occasion and sell them when available. They don't keep these in stock all the time. They're seasonal. Thank you, Karen. Oh, Kathy, did you? Okay, Kathy, I don't know. I must have. I'm gonna look you up. I'm so sorry if I miss. I probably have it in my pictures still, and I haven't gotten caught up. All right, guys. Okay, I'm gonna jump off here so I can get caught up on my messages. You guys have an awesome night, and if I can help you in any way, just send me a message, and I will talk to all of you guys later. Bye.